Hi, this is Professor Nelson, Jewelry Design Department, FIT. Another tutorial in our series of tutorials for basic modeling in Rhino, basic hard surface modeling. I want to talk about how to draw a scroll. Scroll is a very typical form in jewelry. I'm going to start by actually drawing the scroll using a interpolate curve. I'm going to rebuild that because I know I'm not going to like it as it sits. I'm going to give it a normal number of points for this form like this, let's say 20. Turn on my control points. I can go to top viewport if I want to make this a little easier. I'm doing the M-enter method of movement that you guys know I like, where I can keep my mouse away from the point. I'm going to delete that anchor point. As you know, I hate those. Just something nice and scroll-like here. Sorry, it was fighting back a minute there for a minute. Okay. That'll do. Okay. Not the greatest, not the worst. Turn on my analysis tool. Tidy it up a little bit. Okay. Sometimes on the scroll end, I don't have enough points. This is working out nicely, but let's say if you were drawing one and it wasn't, I would rebuild it again. That was F5 to rebuild. And I'd take the point count up 5 or 6 points from what I had it originally. I had this at 20. I took off the 2 anchor points, which is why it reads 18.4, but it was 20. I'll take it up 25. First off, you'll see that actually kind of cleaned up my curvature graph a little bit. So if I wanted more control in here, I would have it. But this one's fine as it is. Okay, just a little bit of a swell here. At the back, I'd take in a little bit, maybe. But we don't have time for me to spend doing this. So that'll do. Okay. The other half of the scroll I'm going to make by just offsetting this curve. You know. Okay. And I'll rebuild that. This can be a lot less points. I'll make it 11. 4. Delete that end point because it was just in my way. And play with this so I get a nice organic thing going. Turn on my curvature graph. Sweeten that up a little. Okay. Fine. I've drawn my scroll. Okay. It's important that I have enough of an extension here that it basically crosses all the way over. And here I want to have as much of a right angle as possible, and closer to 90 degrees. So I'm going to use curve extend by arc to point. Give that a little more length. And the same thing here. If I'm going to bring it in a little straighter. I'm going to rebuild these both because once you extend, it's a polycurve. If I explode that, it shows 2 segments. I don't want 2 segments, so rebuild. Whatever this says here, I'm going to add 3 more points so it stays put. 32 becomes 35. Okay. Now I'm going to create this using fillets. I'm going to extrude a block of material and then fillets. Use fillets to actually create my scroll. I'm going to use offset curves to strategize, to plan those fillets. What's important is that I get as much of a roundness to the sides of this as I can, but at the same time that I leave a central valley of material. Now you'll see that it did something weird here. That's because this loops around on itself. I'll just come in from the other side and do that. Okay. The thing I'm really trying to preserve is a center channel that comes all the way around. See how this ends? I can't have that. I can't have it end. Alright? So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do that same offsetting with history. Actually, it's not really important for this part, although I am going to make this a little bit thicker. Okay, that's too thick. Once it closes that off, it's too thick. I can bring it to where it just about touches here. And then that same offset distance will work on the back curve. Okay. So now I have these, but I do have this closing off here, which I can't have. But since I've had history attached, I can turn on the control points here. And just like we did with our filigree project, I can play with this. I like the curvature into here, so I don't want to mess with that. And I would like this to be a nice sort of form coming in. I don't want too hard of a corner because I know Rhino hates to do fillets around a really hard corner. I'll go ahead and let this alter just a little bit, just so I can get a little nicer curve through here. There. That gives me what I want. Okay? At the end of the day, when I trim these, if I were to trim them, I would like to be able to have something like that. Okay? I'm not going to trim them. But if I did, that's what I'd want to have. Now these are once again polycurves. It offsets strangely here, I should say. I need to make that a single curve, so I'm going to explode it. And explode it. And then I'll rejoin, but I'll rejoin as it comes around. So I'll join this piece. It was joined to this originally. I'm going to join it to that piece. Join it to that piece. I'm going to hit end. Actually, before I hit enter, I'm going to join this to this, and I'm going to hit enter. Because I don't want this to, all the things I connect together with one join command, Rhino might still decide to make that a joint here, or so I want to make sure that this piece is joined, then continue the join going around. And that'll give me one single curve. Okay? I want to rebuild that because I don't want a polycurve. Whatever it says here, I'll just add 3. This should be a single curve, but I'll double check it. It's a single curve, so that I don't have to play with. So I'm ready now to make my scroll. Going to put a line across the end here. These need to reach that line, so I'm going to go ahead and trim this one off, and I'm going to extend this one. So curve. When you do just a regular extend curve, it asks for a boundary. I'll pick that boundary, enter when done, select curve to extend, enter. I know I broke history, that's fine. I want to make sure that didn't create a polycurve, that little extension. I'll check it with an explosion. Cannot explode single curves. I'm good. Alright. Okay. So, I'm going to copy these off to one side. When I do that, it'll break history. That's fine. I think I already broke all of it, but if I haven't, I'll find out now. Okay. Because I just want the outline of this piece to extrude a single block. So, fill it to give me that. And I can actually throw these away. Join that together into a closed curve. And I'm ready to extrude. My question is going to be how thick do I want to extrude? If I'm going to use a fillet this distance, okay, analyze distance, see what that is. It's 1.74. The thickness of my piece has to at least be that thick so that when the fillet happens, okay, I didn't want that both sides. Turn off both sides. Okay, so that if I did a fillet, it's going to reach as far down the side as it does over. If I set it thinner than 174, the fillet wouldn't be able to have enough room and it would fail. That's actually a little too low for the scroll I had in mind anyway, but it's good to know what that distance is because that's the minimum you can extrude. I'm picturing a scroll more along those lines, okay? So I've got my scroll. I'm going to now come over to these lines here, okay? I'm going to close them off. Join that all together to one closed curve. I'm going to close off the others. Actually, I can't. Not yet. This I can go ahead and extrude. Solid option. I'm just going to hit enter and accept that same distance because I know that's what I did in my maquette over here. Okay. Check that length again. It's like 1.741. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and fillet that. I'm going to fill it at 1.74. I want it to be distance from edge, so I have a precise distance going all the way down. And I will hit enter. Okay. That's very nice. Going to take this apart. Make sure that when I extract the surface, it's copy equals no. Take away the inside, take away the caps. Okay. And there's going to be a little strip of surface along this very edge. I'm going to make sure I get rid of that too. Okay. Make sure there's none of it to explode. No, that's it. There was only that one little trim. Now if I wanted to avoid that, and it would be smart of me to avoid that situation, I could fill it at just a little smaller than 1.74. I'll make it 1.7. Okay. That way, it's clear that there's this little extra surface here all the way along. So I know there's no strange edges or bits left behind. I'm just extracting everything but the extrusion and this front wall. Okay, that's done. Now I'm going to extrude these two curves. Now Rhino will probably fail. See? It can't extrude intersections. So I need to split this into two components before it overlaps itself. Okay? Or actually after it overlaps itself, somewhere in here. Going to go to my curve tab, pick straight line, going to pick tangent, two curves, somewhere past this overlap. I'm going to click this curve and this curve. Didn't work. Try a little bit farther down. Nope. Okay. If it doesn't want to let me, I'll just come here and go curve perpendicular from curve, line perpendicular from curve. Click on either curve and pull out. I just want to end it before that overlap. Right here. I'm going to use this curve to split these two. Going to go ahead and fillet the edge so it matches. I'm going to copy this with Control-C to my Windows clipboard. I'm going to join this, this, and this. I'm going to Control-V, put that copy of the curve back in, join it to this and this. I'm going to put my end lines in place. Join them together into two closed curves. There's the first closed curve. Join second closed curve. Okay? Now I can extrude these in the same way. Extrude straight. Solid, yes. Just accept the dimension by hitting enter. Extrude this section. Solid, yes. Accept the distance with enter. Okay. Going to fillet the outside edge of this. Okay. Solid fillet edge. Going to keep it at 1.7. We're just going to select the edge we want to fillet. Do the two portions separately. Do this one first. Enter. Make sure it's a distance from edge, which it is. Done. Going to do the next section. Same way. Okay? Going to get rid of all the extra parts I don't want here. All I want are the fillets and the sidewall. So this time, I'll extract the things I want. Enter. And delete the rest. Okay? So this is everything that we need to create our scroll. I'm going to use this extrusion. I don't want that joined together anymore. Well, it's fine. It can be joined. If I'm going to keep that joined, I'll join those two pieces as well. So I have the same depth, because I'm going to use them to trim each other. Trim. Trim. Okay. So now I can join this to this to that to that. Okay. Now I need some pieces from my maquette. So I'll extract surface. This time copy equals yes. I need the top, the end cap, and the bottom. I'm going to move those over using my grid snap. Okay. I'm going to select this scroll portion and use it to trim off those corners. Then I will join this and this together. I'll select the green part again and trim off the parts of the orange area. I had to join this so that I would have a closed cutting curve. Join these together. And the last thing to be joined is the bottom plate. It became a closed surface. Okay. And that's finished. Now, if I didn't want a flat curve, there are all kinds of things I could do at this point. I could do a flow surface, for example. Do an oval, draw it out towards the end of this, side to side. I want a direction that keeps largely in kind with my scroll. Grid snap to get to the center of that. There, that's pretty good. Set a C-plane to that. Okay, that'll make it easy for me to draw a rectangle from center. That's about the shape and size of my scroll. Okay, if it's not quite wide enough, I can non-uniform scale it. Remember, all scales are C-plane dependent, which is why I made the C-plane to begin with. Because now I can come to the middle of it. I can make it a little wider, make it a little longer, whatever I need. Okay. Going to explode that. Going to use that to make a bi-rail sweep right here. So just leave them selected. Hit enter. Okay. I can delete the curves. Okay. And make a copy of this. Go back to top C-plane. Control C, Control V. Move this over. Okay. Build enough points that it updates. Actually, I should have recorded history. Record history. And just do a regular internal copy. Record history, transform copy. Rebuild this. so that it has enough points to do whatever I would like it to do. I like it being flat on the bottom. So actually make this one 2, make this one 1, and let's give this more points for more control. We're just playing around. We'll make it 5. That's fine. If I turn on the points, I have plenty of points to play with here. Okay. So, a couple of things I can try here. Flow along surface. Record history. Okay. Sometimes you have to make some alterations first. Go into a vertical seaplane. Turn off grid snap. Okay. It broke history. Alright. That's fine. So, it broke history because this is actually a copy of that one. So, going to delete this. Sometimes you have to move, make the surface a little bit different from the parent. I know it's going to break history. That's okay. And now I'm going to flow along surface again. Okay. You can see that that's curved now. Now, I should be able, except for I didn't do it with history. Wrong thing, sorry. Yes. And now I could actually sculpt this to do whatever I might want it to do. In three-dimensional space. Okay, so here we go. How to create a scroll. Okay. Thanks for watching.